Cancer, I feel like this month, it's important to not let your heart get tired. Those of us who invest emotionally in the things that we do. And when I say emotional, I really mean like when you invest in your soul, right? When it takes something out of you, when it takes energy out of you. It's important to make sure you do what's required to restore yourself when the time comes, okay? First, we have the Fool and the Page of Pentacles. I feel like, especially because the Ten of Swords is here as well, I feel like you need a lesson in what it really means to take a risk. I think that playing it safe has its perks, right? Of course. Why wouldn't it, right? But the type of risk Spirit is asking you to take would not alter your safety. I feel like that's really important for you to know. Notice how there's only Pentacles and Swords on the table. This is talking about where your mind and your state of mind, the way that you think about things meets what manifests. This doesn't really have anything to do with your spirit or your emotional body. So when you're given a second chance, when you're standing in the energy of freedom meaning nothing is holding you back, nothing is keeping you there, you're just on your own volition, right? The Fool. There's a lot of lessons that can be captured, and there's a lot of things that you can learn from that state of being. And I feel like it's important that you search with your hands and your physical body, and not your eyes alone or your mind alone. Because with the Ten of Swords and the Page of Swords, I feel like the observations and the things that you need to take away from the position that you're in right now are not ones to be intellectualized or conceptualized or considered in that capacity. They need to be acted out. So I feel like there's something that you're getting a second chance on that requires your physical presence in order to actually achieve it, in order to go through it, and actually in order to absorb the lesson. What is coming to a close is this feeling like you need to collect more data, or you need to read more or learn more or perceive more before you can execute, right? So I feel like too, depending on how this applies, what area of life this applies to you in, this may be something where you feel like you need to learn more before you apply for a certain job, and Spirit is saying that you can learn the rest on the job. You know what I mean? As an example. Because down here we have the Four of Pentacles, further clarified by the Three of Pentacles. So I feel like you have an opportunity to learn a lot and retain it, right? Or to earn a lot, or to gain a lot of skills or support that is retainable. Also, you need to consider, because the Three of Pentacles comes underneath the Four of Pentacles, are you resistant to letting people help you, and why? Okay? And why? Especially a Queen of Wands type person. If there's someone, either if you identify in Queen of Wands energy, which is someone who's very independent and free and creative and whatever, if you identify as this person, you may push away or not tell people that you need help because you think it's going to undermine this energy. Or this type of person wants to help you, and because they're a very free spirit, or because, you know, they seem larger than life to you in some capacity, you may feel like, well, they're only going to be able to teach me for so long and they're not going to stay, so that's not very helpful to me. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's important to remember that if you ask for help, or if you decide to go under somebody's wing, or if you offer someone help in exchange for their help in another capacity, you have to, one, believe that you'll retain everything that you need out of it before that time transitions. And you also need to be aware that it's not going to halt your independence in any way, or not going to harm your independence in any way. Before we get into the whole spread, just a reminder, I do love readings by sign. They're available for purchase in the description box below. But make sure you read what you're purchasing, because my readings come out middle of the month. So I put out, like, I'll put out a reading for all the signs individually on the 15th. That'll be good for the following month. So I run like mid-March to mid-April, mid-April to mid-May. All right. And personal readings are opening back up very soon. Join my mailing list in the description box so you're the first to know when they're open, okay? Hello, my Cancers. So you're only the second reading I'm doing for April, so I can only correlate to the reading I did before you, which was Virgo, but Virgo got the same overall energy as you, and you guys do have the Hermit card here. Also, Virgo only had 2 major arcanas in their spread, and you do as well, with the exception of your overall energy is a major as well. I just wanted to point those differences, or those similarities rather, out. So if you have Virgo in your chart, I do feel like there's an overlap there. Now, your overall energy for the month of April is patience. Okay. Now, what's on the bottom of the deck is Healer of the Ages. And Healer of the Ages is 51, which is a 6. And this is 16, which is a 7. So I feel like this is about progression. And what does it mean to progress? And what does that look like over time? Healer of the Ages in this regard, and I see that there's like fire coming off of her here, and he has like fire in his heart space. In order to burn away our limitations, in order to burn down our barricades to true vulnerability, to true healing, because to heal is to be vulnerable. Like, you have to bear the wound, right, to oxygen before it gets healed. And that fire is a purifier. Overall energy, the death card, right? The phoenix rises from the ashes. So first there must be a sacrifice, you know? There must be a purification by fire, which it hurts, right? It hurts, but nothing is left. That's the thing about fire versus a water purification, right? Water leaves damage in its wake after it's done a purification. It gives you all this shit to clean up, right? It does. If you have a flood, there's things that are going to grow mold and they're permanently damaged. And you have to sit with all the devastation. Purification by fire, it, for better or worse, rids us of everything that was there before. And we have the power to mourn it, but over time, we can't ruminate in it. We can't like lull in it. We have to move on, right? It forces us to move on. It forces us to rebuild immediately because we have nothing. And because the Fool is here and it showed back up in the energy that's opening to you, I feel like you have a very interesting amount of power this month. I almost said Pisces, Cancer, in your ability to really swipe the slate. And I may have almost said Pisces because this has to do with the energy happening in Pisces, the Venus and the Mercury going through its old retrograde degrees. But I feel like if you feel like there's been some area of your life that you just cannot let go, like that you just can't let it go. I know y'all love the past, and I respect you for it. If there's something in your life that you have not been able to let go, and you know for a fact it is in the way of providing you the healing that you have been waiting on for so long, and maybe lifetimes, have been waiting on for lifetimes, you're finally going to be in part of the patience this month to endure the burn, okay, and the incineration of everything blocking you from having an uninhibited heart chakra, right? Death comes for us whether we like it or not. Everything in the wake of the death card has fainted and fallen. And the priest, right, our spiritual defenses is their last, kind of praying over, giving us those last words. Like, what's the last thing you want to say before you let go of your old life, before your old life, and the old version of yourself transitions into the non-physical, because you don't really lose this aspect of yourself. It's being integrated into the non-physical larger part of yourself so that you use it in a way that is not egoic, where you compare what happened in the past to what's happening now, but where you use it as pure, raw information based on wisdom and insight, right? So this is a huge heart chakra upgrade month. Like, the energy I'm feeling in my body, I hope I can transmit the vibration that I physically feel right now into all of you. So when you are feeling like you are molting, right? Molting. Tis the season, Cancer. You need some time to build up your new shell before it's your time. And I would say 2 seasons is enough. Okay? And when you first get your new shell, when it appears, it's soft, right? And it takes time to harden. So you do have to go through a period of discomfort in order to be granted everything that you have been desiring. What you're being asked to release is the 9 of Pentacles with the rune Success and the 2 of Wands. If you tend to feel like thriving, especially as an individual, both emotionally and physically, if you feel like thriving is something that has been out of your reach, I feel like you're having to alter your perspective about what that even means. And if you believe that thriving alone means like there's literally no one in your life that helps you at all, I feel like you also need to rethink what all of that means. Because if you have a tendency to put like everybody on your back, or to just feel like to be truly independent, you have to endure. I feel like that vision needs to be altered, because the 9 of Pentacles with Success, yes, success can be measured by everything that we can do for ourselves, right? What we're capable of, what kind of lifestyle we can live, right? Because that's very much 9 of Pentacles as well, as about lifestyle, right? Do you need, flair? Do you need to be able to take yourself to the spa whenever you want? Like, what does that mean to you? But I also feel like you need to learn how to integrate success that works in tandem with other people. Not necessarily romantic partners, but just other people. That was a big theme in the beginning cards that we were talking about. And the 2 of Wands is a vision of having to go past this spark, right, and into something wider. But because you're being asked to release this, I feel like it's really interesting that you come back into May with a new, completely renewed sense of self, I'm feeling, and way of connecting with the world around you. So I feel like there's also this transition of like, you can be successful in your own right and still be a part of a group. And I feel like you need to also understand what your success means in the grand scheme of your life and the people that you love, the people that you keep close to you. Because I don't think that you crafted your vision with people around per se, or maybe not everybody around, or you never figured it out that way. And I feel like that needs to be altered as well. And also, to be a visionary is a powerful thing. To be able to place yourself into an energy, into a time space, and be able to see it is beautiful. But if you feel crippled or inhibited to execute on said vision, that says that it may not be 100% in alignment with your best interest, and you need to revisit that. The door that's now open that was once closed, Cancer, we have the 7 of Wands with the Fool. And on the Fool, we do have victory. So I feel like, one, if you really want to wipe your slate clean of old fears, of old ways of seeing success, of old ways of identifying with, if I hit these markers, I know I'm really onto something. Or if I hit these markers, I know that I'm paid. Or if I hit these markers, I know that I'm secure and I can take care of myself. Because another thing, you may feel like you're not successful enough to take care of yourself or to receive pleasure, and that's ridiculous, because we always need to have self-love prioritized. So the 7 of Wands with the Fool in victory, I feel like you're finally understanding that you can have success on your own terms. You can, have everything that you want, but there are certain things that you need to let go, okay? Because the Seven of Wands talks about other people trying to get a piece of you or impose themselves upon you or whatever. And there's a defensive stance here. But I feel like in this case, it's people that want to help you and you feeling like it's an infringement on your freedom or an infringement upon your ability to thrive. And I feel like you're getting a shift, again, in perspective on that. Because if victory is coming with the Fool, if you know that what you need to do right now is take a risk, and you're about to take that risk, and it's one that on some level is calculated with patience here, right? Because I feel like, too, if you end up taking a risk, right? And I feel like the risk may just be that you're willing to put yourself out there, or you're willing to feel exposed, or you're willing to defend a stance that a lot of people don't align with, right? That could be the risk. You understand that it also is going to require you to be patient to, like, quote, prove to everyone why you chose what you chose. Like, you understand that, again, you're going to have to go through it, and it's not going to happen overnight. There's not a lot of Pentacles energy here. We just have, we just have the Ace. And I feel like this is something that's not really going to come to you, until your birthday, right? Maybe even a little bit later. So you don't need to explain to people why you make the moves that you make, but you also have to have the discernment to know whether or not someone is asking you because they're questioning you, or someone is asking you because they want to support you. Because I feel like this is also about letting people help you. I just feel like there's a message here about letting people help you. Because in your current energy, as it relates to your spiritual path and career, this month, Cancer, in your head, we do have the Two of Cups. In your heart, the Ace of Pentacles with the rune Future. And in your foundation, the Hermit. I think a lot of you have been doing things on your own for a long time. Or even if there's a lot of people around you where it seems like people help you, they're not like in your nuclear core. Like maybe it's, your brother or your sister or your mom, like that people. But like other than like your blood relatives, I just feel like even your blood relatives may not really know like what goes on with you. I feel like there's a deep, isolated energy here. Okay? But the Hermit doesn't isolate for anything, for nothing. You know what I mean? So I feel like at the core of everything, you also know that you've learned all you can learn on your own. And I feel like that's a message here as well, that sometimes we have to learn how to start again with a community, or to allow happiness and to allow the assistance of others to come in and impart itself in our lives. Because the Hermit is brave, because the psyche is very fragile when it's alone for a long time, because it loses connection to the world. It loses connection to, what it means to feel, what it means to have empathy. Like, not that, you're going to come back and you're not going to know anything, but there's certain things that we learn from being in groups, right? From being with everyone. So I feel like you're coming to the end of a cycle where, especially if you want to finish healing, right? Especially if you want to heal a deep, deep core wound, you're going to have to surrender your deep, tendency to defend yourself or to keep yourself guarded. Because with the Ace of Pentacles in the heart space with the rune Future, there's something that you need to invest in emotionally at this time, whether it be partnership in a romantic sense, or just letting people close to you, or making, knowing that you can be successful in your own right and be connected to other people. And it's something that's going to take time to blossom. Okay. And this can also be powerful, work relationships that you made. Like maybe you're birthing a project right now that is like, your soul project, like your purpose, right? And you know that with the Two of Cups in your headspace, you know that you have to make deep connections. You know that in order to serve your soul's mission, you have to make connections with people that are always genuine, that are always feeding you. And that's a lot of responsibility, right? It's like it's just like you're coming to a point where you can't take life. I don't want to say you can't take life lightly, because I don't think that you do that now. But it's like these next couple of months are going to require you to have a lot of bare-chested emotional investment in what's transpiring, and to not get cold feet and make a rapid shift. And that's why Spirit is giving you that purification by fire, to allow you to remove all that old fear of like what happens when you let people close to you, or what happens when you expose yourself. You know what I mean? That one instance that so long ago that you were like, you know what I mean, crucified for being this bare-souled being, you are getting to like come back and collect on that pain by being able to bear witness in it now and be transformed. Again, with the Two of Cups in your headspace, I do feel like you have the energy, because you've learned so much on your own, because you've done this deep soul-based work, and it's time to come out into the light, that you know your mind is focused on its ability to match and mirror as well. Because I feel like the key seed that you're planting right now is someone who is your equal, or people that are your equal, that connect to you and understand you and get you at that core level, that previously only you and your own psyche has. This could also be people that reflect back to you the deep things that you see in meditation, or that you reflect upon on your own. And Spirit's advice on how to navigate this energy, we have the Knight of Wands with the rune Luck, and the Five of Cups with the rune Trust. I feel like you have a tendency to not trust things to be in your favor. I feel like you have a tendency to believe that things can only be good for so long, right? Because the Knight of Wands is quick, fast action or announcement or news, right? And we have luck here with it. So it's like things will be good, but you can't trust it. So it's like you may have a tendency to feel like if you get good news, that you should be skeptical, or that you should be on guard, because it's only a matter of time before shit goes south. And I feel like you need to learn how to trust the good when it comes in, and ride that wave. Without fear, ride that wave. Yeah, this is the lesson that we were talking about in the beginning. Page of Pentacles. That's what you need to learn. I also feel like you need to learn that if you trust that melancholy that comes up for you from time to time, because that happens on healing journeys, and that's why you need to be patient with yourself. Okay, if you trust that, like, that fear that the past is going to repeat itself, if you let it in and you make snap decisions based on it, it is going to alter your path. Okay? Yeah. Everything is going to be just fine. There's no snap decision that you need to make. There's no quick protection, quick guardedness. Everything that's happening is 100% in divine order and has been ordained. So it is time to rebuild trust, Cancer, in the goodness in people, in the validity of soul connections, and being vulnerable. Like, I don't even know what other word to use. Going into May, we have the Ace of Wands with the rune Wealth. And we have the Three of Cups. So I feel like not only are you tapping into a wellspring of abundance, but I think it's the kind that you haven't had in quite a while. The Ace of Wands does talk about inspiration, and it talks about ideas and fresh starts that are spiritually aligned, as well as creatively aligned. So I feel like if you've been waiting for your opportunity, especially if you have creative work goals or life goals, like if there's a talent or whatever that you pursue, I feel like the people around you are going to be inspiring you to really tap into the monetary streams that are available to you. I know this is like a non-traditional message, but I feel like some of you are going to be getting ideas from your friends about how you can monetize your talents. Okay, if you don't already. And if you do already, it could be like a new way of doing it. I also feel like you're going to understand that there's a wealth of opportunity available to you, and that you can enjoy life and feel good in the process. You don't have to wait for some later date for everything to materialize, for your money to be perfect in order to enjoy life. You don't have to wait till you're 100% healed and perfect. Like, it's never going to happen. You have to just enjoy life as it comes, and believe that the people that you've surrounded yourself with are going to inspire you and be in alignment with your true path. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get some clarifiers really quick. I use these in my love readings. They're like gypsy cards. Spirit, we're going to clarify this Five of Cups with Spirit's advice. Okay, we'll do it that way. Yeah. I feel like the biggest threat to you is you're afraid that you're going to, like, the second you stop thinking that something bad is going to happen, or that the second you stop thinking that you shouldn't be skeptical of people or whatever, is the second that someone betrays you. It's like you have this deep desire to be on guard, but Spirit is shifting that because it's just too much. It's just too much. Like, you can trust, like, you have to trust your discernment and your with people. You know, you do. And you have to let it all go. Yeah, it's like waiting for misfortune, which is crazy. Also, if you feel like a friendship kept going sour, or something happened with money that made a friendship go sour, or if you've had a lot of those kind of mix-ups, or you just had a lot of stop and starts with somebody, I feel like that could turn around. I feel like that's getting prepared to turn around. It's like putting misfortune behind you. But there's still this desire. I feel it. I can feel it burning in my heart chakra. What you need to move through this month is this desire to, no matter how much you trust somebody, also not trust them at all. It's this on guard skepticism energy. Spirit, further clarify the Two of Cups and 3 cards. What is this relationship that Cancer is thinking about? Ah. Okay. Fortune. That's too many, but come on. Just two. I'm sorry, y'all. The energy is mad strong. Waiting in love. Okay. Wow. So I feel like you've been waiting, and then I have child. So this is like a new beginning, or something that's being birthed for the first time. So if you've had the money on lock and you've been waiting for love to come, or you've been waiting for that relationship where love and your financial life and your overall just like good fortune in life continues, I feel like Spirit is saying that once your money is more in alignment, and that is happening, right? The love will come. Okay. But also you don't have to wait for one to birth the other, I feel like is a message here as well. Yeah. Because Doctor and Misfortune is, you're healing your attachment to misfortune, or your attachment to things going sour, okay, in general, in life this month. So whatever comes to you, whatever kind of connection comes to you, whether it be romantic or business-oriented, and you're more worried about the other one, or you feel like you don't deserve one until you have the other, you're going to have to heal that this month, because in that regard, you are your own worst enemy. Yeah, because the people around you have a lot to offer you. They have a lot of bountiful energy that you should be willing to tap into, and that will absolutely accelerate your healing journey, okay? So again, love readings are down below. Read the directions. If you want to be part of my private readings, again, subscribe to my mailing list, because that's going to be going out soon, okay? Peace.